To record the history of Kevelaer, I have to go back to the year 1641. Kevelaer, the most important place of pilgrimage in Germany, is situated in the west of the country, close to the border with the Netherlands. Kevelaer is the story of a merchant by the name of Hendrik Bussmann, who one day knelt down in prayer beside the wayside shrine just outside Kevelaer. Suddenly, he heard a mysterious voice asking him to build a little chapel on the spot. This occurrence was repeated twice. The second event which is important for Kevelaer concerns Hendrik's wife Mechel. In that same year, she was offered to buy a picture of Our Lady of Luxembourg. Shortly afterwards, Mechel had a vision during the night. In a clear light, she saw a little chapel with the picture inside. When Hendrik Bussmann learned of this, he hesitated no longer. The little chapel was built in May 1642, and the image of Mercy placed inside. The first pilgrims came to Kevelaer that very same day. An annual tradition, which is said to date from 1733, is the walk from Bocholt to Kevelaer. Men and women of all ages cover the 52 kilometers in one day. About 1,000 people take part. Kevelaer, once a farming village, has grown into a medium-sized town, thanks to the building of the Chapel of Mercy. In 1654, the hexagonal Chapel of Mercy was built around the very first chapel. It is nearly always crowded in the Kapellenplatz, where, apart from the Chapel of Mercy, the Candle Chapel, the Basilica, and the Confessional Chapel are situated. About 800,000 pilgrims visit Kevelaer each year.
Za nami grzesznymi, teraz i w godzinę śmierci naszej. Amen.
The print, which has lost a lot of its color in the course of the centuries, is known as the image of mercy. The Comforter of the Sorrowful, the name given to Mary in Kevelaer, is adorned with jewelry, gifts of the pilgrims.
Geheiligt werde dein Name, dein Reich komme, dein Wille geschehe.
Two sisters from Bocholt, who have grown up with the tradition of the pilgrimage, have walked to Kevelaer many times.
You are together. That also makes the walking easy. If I now had to walk from Musum to Bocholt, which is about 8 kilometers, after about 5 kilometers I would say, I can't go any further. But if you walk together with others at a fixed pace, you just carry on. What also takes your mind off the walking is praying. You can't manage 40 kilometers on your own, but if you do it together and pause for a while and pray, you can manage it. 52 kilometers, it's a lot, but that's okay. It's very different from sitting in church. There you can let the sermon go in one ear and out of the other. After the church service, many people don't even know what the sermon was about. When you walk along together here, you actually have to listen. If you don't pray together with the others, it's dull. I remember the first time we joined the walk, we were only 9 years old. Then you overestimate your strength. Now, too, children dash on ahead. A few children run to their mother. When you're 9 years old, you can't keep that up. That happened to me, too. I couldn't go on any further. I think of God and the world. I pray for virtually everyone. For friends, members of the family, Rwanda, for everyone.
On the way, somewhere between Kevelaer and Bocholt, the pilgrims stop for lunch.
Dankeschön.
Eine Sterne verliehen, wer den besten Service bietet.
Gut,
Ja, da
wir haben den immer sofort.
Kriegen wir nachher ein Fläschchen von.
Ja, sicher.
Präsident hier.
Prost.
Prost. Christa, jetzt kommt
Ja, das tut gut.
That helps us tackle a few more kilometers.
pilgrimage season in Kevelaer is from May to November. Most of the pilgrims come from Germany. Dutch pilgrims come second in terms of numbers. There is always a good reason for lighting a candle. The Candle Chapel is actually the real pilgrimage church in Kevelaer. An impressive number of candles represents the various groups of pilgrims who come to Kevelaer every year. The group from the neighboring town of Ries has the longest tradition in this respect. Hanging on the wall are coats of arms and plaques with words of thanks, testifying to the gratitude of past pilgrims. For over 150 years now, a logbook has been kept of the walk to Kevelaer. It records high water levels, difficult weather conditions, and other hardships which the pilgrims had to endure. In the past, pilgrims often made the journey to Kevelaer on horse and cart. Those who did not possess a cart could hire a seat. People sometimes hired a seat for a quarter of the journey, sometimes for half of the journey, and sometimes for the whole journey.
It is mentioned in our chronicles, which begin in 1840, that in 1858 the water level of the Rhine was very low. Today you can cross the Rhine by bridges, but then you always had to cross by ferry. As a result of the low water level in 1858, it took each boat full of people almost 2 hours to cross to the other bank. Today, that hardly ever occurs anymore because traveling is now easier. We can cross the Rhine quickly and arrive on time.
Wir können also ohne Verzögerung über den Rhein und dann unsere Zeit eigentlich einhalten. Das letzte Mal, wo es so geregnet hat, das war
The last time it rained so hard was 40 years ago. In 1956, there was a heavy storm. Someone happened to notice a whole crown of a tree snap off. It landed precisely between the men and women of the procession, but no one was injured. People were just able to avoid it.
Aber es ist niemand dabei verletzt worden, weil die in dem letzten Moment noch ausweichen konnten.
For me, Kevelaer is a place of mercy, of tranquility, where I can pray, give thanks, make requests. There is always a reason to go, because you have a fine family, or are thankful that your marriage has already lasted for 26 years and is still growing strong. A reason for thanks. Or if you've been cured of a disease and you say, I thank you that I am in good health again. These are reasons why you may go on a
Ich bin froh,
pilgrimage.
dass ich wieder gesund bin. Ich danke. Und dann sind wir wieder bei dem, was.
The driver of the cart has been going on the pilgrimage for dozens of years. He knows from experience that some people will not be able to manage the long walk.
Deswegen auch wenn ich diese Bewegung mache, dann zuckt sie ja zusammen. Nichts Besonderes. Überbelastung? Ja, das ist so.
The veneration of the Virgin Mary in Bocholt and in the whole of the surrounding area is very traditional. Many parents take their children with them. That's a guarantee that this pilgrimage, which has existed for over 260 years, will continue in the future. What Kevelaer means for me personally is 3 whole days of relaxation and also reflection, 3 days of praying and of giving thanks, and also of having hopes for the coming year, and the experience of the community on the pilgrimage. You find it all there. That's why I'm so happy every year at Kevelaer. It is not the case that you are pious the whole time or spend the whole time praying. That's not possible, not even if you say the rosary. But you also meditate. You take with you on the pilgrimage everything which has affected you in your life. You are thankful that you are in such good health and that you can again make the journey on foot. It's very tough physically. It's relaxing for your spirit and your soul, but physically tough. You feel the tiredness in your knees and ankles soon enough, but you hope you'll be able to take part again next year too.
I think it is unique to be on a walk with a relatively large number of people who, regardless of their profession, their social position, their sex, or their age, form a community which you only experience on this Kevelaer pilgrimage. It is also an experience to be able to talk of personal problems during the pauses in the journey. It is so fascinating being on a journey that I want to take part again every year. I always have something which I am very much concerned about. At the moment, I have something special. For example, involving me in having to pray for someone else. An ex-employee of mine has 2 small children. His wife has been critically ill for some weeks. He has to assume that she will die. This year, I am very concerned about this. If this pilgrimage can offer me something, I want to sacrifice it for this concern of mine.
Die für diese Sache aufzuopfern.
The arrival in Kevelaer is the high point of the day. The tired pilgrims from Bocholt seek a place in the crowded church.
You quite rightly feel proud and fulfilled because you have covered that whole stretch of 52 kilometers in one go. You're tired, but also happy and satisfied that you've made it.
Zufrieden, dass man das geschafft hat.
For us older pilgrims, Kevelaer is the comforter of the sorrowful. We often have reason to be sorrowful and to pray. That's the significance of Kevelaer. For me, Mary is the comforter of the sorrowful.
Most people consider the religious background very important. The pilgrimage, praying together, singing, laughing, being happy with one another. For those who take part every year, which means most of the people here, the pilgrimage of Kevelaer is a fixed point on the calendar.
When darkness falls, the pilgrims go into the streets again for the candlelight procession, a final tribute to the Blessed Mary, the comforter of the sorrowful. The annual walk to Kevelaer is a special experience for many inhabitants of Bocholt. Being with one another on the journey and forming part of the group are important elements of this pilgrimage.